opened. He kneeled down 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks to his God as he did before. Folks, that takes faith. That takes boldness. But he was not about to allow anything to interrupt his relationship with his God. And so it wasn't very long until these accusers of Daniel came to the king. And they said, "You know what, king? We went past Daniel's house, and his windows were open. And we heard him praying to the God of heaven, not once, not twice, but 3 times a day. He does not regard your decree, which you have established." And king, remember what the decree says, that anyone who does not commit to submitting to the decree would be cast into the line of den, or den of lions. And the Bible says, then the king was sore with himself. Because you see, he had been tricked into doing something that he would never have done had he known that this would involve casting Daniel into the den of lions. And the Bible says, beginning in the verse that we read from, verse 17, then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. So distraught was he over what had taken place. Daniel had, in fact, been cast into the lion's den. And the Bible says, then the king arose very early in the morning. Now visualize this. This is the most powerful man in the world. But he arose very early in the morning and went in haste to the den of lions. And when he came to the den, the Bible says he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said, "O Daniel, servant of the living God, is your God, whom you serve continually, able to deliver you from the den of lions," or from the lions? And I like the next verse. Probably to the king's surprise and to his astonishment, the voice of Daniel echoed back. And the Bible says, then said Daniel unto the king, "O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel, and hath shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before you, O king, have I done no wrong." You see, God honors us when we take an honest stand for what we know to be right. Daniel said, God knew that I had done nothing wrong, that all I had done is honor him and prayed to him and gave thanks to him as I did aforetimes. God knew that innocency was found in me. The Bible says, then was the king exceeding glad. And he commanded Daniel, or commanded that they take Daniel up out of the den. So they took up Daniel out of the den. And the Bible says there was found no hurt upon him. Ponder that miracle. Have you ever been near lions? Even on the other side of the cage, we know that by nature they would consume whoever fell in their midst. The Bible says there was found no hurt on him because, and this is what I want you to remember, because he believed in his God. You see, believing in God is not only making a profession, it's also taking a stand for what we know to be right. Daniel believed in his God so much that he was prepared to honor his God regardless of the challenge that he might face. And in turn, God honored his faith and marvelously delivered him from the den of the lions. You see, faith is powerful. I don't think we understand or fully appreciate sometimes just how powerful faith in God can be. When Jehoshaphat was faced in 2 Chronicles chapter 20 and verse 20 with the enemies that were going to destroy Judah, consisting of the children of Ammon, the children of Moab, and the children of Mount Seir. And Jehoshaphat knew that they were greatly outnumbered. The Bible says that Jehoshaphat addressed the people of Judah and Jerusalem with these words. He said, "Hear, O Judah, and you children of Jerusalem, believe in the Lord your God, so shall you be established." Or in other words, don't look at the numbers. Don't look at the natural disadvantages we are facing, but dare to believe God. When Jesus spoke to his disciples in Mark chapter 11 and verse 23, he said something dramatic. Jesus said, "Verily I say unto you, whosoever saith to this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and doth not doubt in his heart, but believes that that which he saith shall come to pass, shall have what he saith." The power of faith. When Martha came to Jesus concerning Lazarus and said to him, "Lord, if you had only been here 4 days ago, Lazarus would not have died. But now he's been dead 4 days. And his body is about to decompose. Jesus, why weren't you here 4 days ago?" Jesus looked at Martha and said, "Martha, don't you remember what I said to you? Don't you remember my response when you first came? Don't you know what I stated? Don't you recall how I said, if you will believe, you will see the glory of God?" Martha, the question is not How long has Lazarus been dead? The question, Martha, is how much do you believe that I can raise him from the dead? You see, Hebrews 11, verses 1 and 2. Concerning faith, state, faith is the substance of things hoped for,